BRUCAST is back, baby.
I was essentially creating this struggle for myself because I didn't have, I essentially, I was neglecting the playful side of creativity. I took it too seriously. And when you take something too seriously, then it becomes a struggle. And I think that is kind of the balance of creativity is that, yeah, you need to do the best you can, but uh, if you set your expectations super high, and if you don't allow yourself some room to play and to experiment and to try things out, which might not work, then essentially you are creating from this state of anxiety, from this state of just being very,
Rigid?
I should say, tense. Yeah, tense or rigid. Yeah, yeah. Essentially, you say it has to be this way, or it's not gonna work, or I'm not gonna be happy with it. When essentially, so many interesting things can happen if you just allow yourself to just do whatever, just try whatever, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Like I had some illustrations that I had to paint over because they didn't work out the first time. And then there was something, essentially, I forgot how to play with my art. And that's one of the reasons why illustrations are more difficult for me than writing, because in writing, you can edit and edit and edit so many times. The first draft is never the last. There's a lot more room to fix things. And in visual art, because I'm working mostly traditionally nowadays, I do sometimes, do editing digitally. I did do a lot of digital painting before, but now I'm just more into traditional art. Sometimes, there is a point of no return, and that was really causing me mental blockades. Like I was afraid of painting. I was afraid of creating the art that is not going to be good enough, because I was creating such high expectation for how the art has to look. Like it has to be really good because I want to have this really beautiful illustrated book. And so I was just creating a lot of this. I was creating a mess for myself essentially, because when you approach the book with it has to be the best thing ever, not ever, but like the best thing that I could come up with, then it's like you're performing on stage 24/7, and that's not healthy. Like you have to have an opportunity to just in private just fail and do stuff that doesn't work and just relax essentially. So that was something that I had to learn in order to make progress with this book, and this is something that I'm sharing in the book because I think it's a very important lesson that, especially if you're someone who's been creating for a long time, then you create expectations for yourself that each artwork you make or each video you make or each song you make has to be better than everything else you've done before. And that's not always possible. So essentially what I started allowing myself to do is make art that sucks. And then, I don't have to include it in the book, but I have to allow myself to make art that sucks in order to feel more relaxed and enjoying the process more, essentially.
Allow yourself to fail. Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's very important. Very important. So let's see. So creativity and fun go along together. You cannot separate them both.
If you can combine them. I'm not saying that every part of the process is equally fun. I think we all have different things that come easier to us than others. So, for some people, for me, drawing is easier than painting. So I enjoy the process of drawing more than I enjoy the process of painting, but I have found ways to make painting more enjoyable for myself. Just, to maybe take certain shortcuts that save time, or maybe use certain techniques, combine techniques that kind of work well together and so on. So I think But even I try to have fun when I work for clients, because I think that when you have fun, you kind of open yourself up. Just your brain works differently.
Yeah.
I do know that some psychology studies have found that when people are more relaxed, when they're less stressed, they're going to come up with more creative ideas. That is for sure. But experientially, I feel like uh, I do a better job for my clients when I'm having fun, because then I allow myself to go some on these side quests and maybe come up with something that I wouldn't have thought the client might like, but I really like it. And then I'll show it to the client and they see it and say, oh, wow, we do really like it. Something you wouldn't expect, because you think, oh, this is too wild. This is too risky. But then they see it and they're like, we're into this. This is cool. So, I think it's because people generally like to have fun. And when you are having fun while you are creating something that other people are going to see, then you are uh, inspiring them to have more fun. I think any creator that is sharing any kind of media, uh, we are influencing how other people are feeling when they consume what we have created. And so I think that energy of what we're putting into it is going to get transmitted through what we're putting out. So I think if I'm having fun while I'm making something, then other people might have more fun while they're reading it or looking at it or using it as a design for their brand or what have you.
Watch full episodes of the BRUCAST on the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@brewfrasca.